getting a little problem as far as coming to the house. I'm at Red Bluff Creek. So this is what the roadway looks like right now.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Although he might be heavy enough. Moving.
Look at this. This is a residential road in Boerne, Texas, and right now, it doesn't exist anymore. Somewhere out there, a family is trying to coax their animals off a flooding property before the water gets any higher. A truck sits half submerged. And this is just the beginning of what unfolded across the Texas Hill Country as Cibolo Creek surged past its banks and swallowed entire neighborhoods. By the time this storm system moved through, it wouldn't just be Boerne. It would be 8 counties, one after another, all fighting the same water. Texas Hill Country has a name for a reason. Thin soil, steep limestone terrain, and rivers that can rise faster than almost anywhere else in the country. When the ground here gets saturated, it stops absorbing water almost entirely, and every drop that falls afterward goes straight into the creeks. That's exactly what happened. Slow-moving thunderstorms parked over the same stretch of ground for hours, dumping rain far faster than the watershed could handle. And the creek at the center of the first wave of chaos was Cibolo Creek, which runs directly through the heart of Boerne. This isn't a creek people think of as dangerous. On a normal day, it's calm enough to walk beside. But when hill country storms hit right, it becomes one of the fastest rising waterways in the region. Within hours, neighborhoods near Cibolo Creek in Boerne were inundated. Local residents live streaming from their own front yards watched roads disappear beneath rushing brown water in real-time water that hadn't been there that morning. In the Johns Road neighborhood, homeowners watched water creep toward their front doors. This wasn't flash flooding in some remote, unpopulated area. This was happening in driveways, on streets people drive every single day. Emergency crews moved fast. Rescue teams pulled stranded residents from vehicles and homes, evacuated vulnerable families, and fielded a wave of distress calls as roads across the area became impassable one after another. And Cibolo Creek didn't just rise, it rose past previous flood records, overtopping parks, residential streets, bridges, and the roadway that runs alongside it. Authorities had one message for anyone nearby: stay away from the water. It was moving too fast and too unpredictably to approach. What happened in Boerne turned out to be the opening chapter, not the whole story. In Bandera County, heavy rainfall forced evacuations from riverside communities as flooded highways and submerged crossings complicated every rescue attempt. In Uvalde County, rivers rose with almost no warning. Officials ordered evacuations while crews carried out water rescues, and some residents described what looked like a wall of floodwater moving downstream. In Medina County, overflowing rivers spread across low-lying communities, cutting off transportation routes as emergency personnel stayed deployed through the worst of it. Near San Antonio, at the edge of Bexar County, the Cibolo Creek surged again. Downstream witnesses caught large debris, including fallen trees, breaking apart in the current. Kerr County faced its own repeated rounds of flooding as saturated ground turned every new storm into instant runoff, trapping vehicles and shutting down road after road. And across Guadalupe, Gillespie, and Kendall counties, the same pattern played out: rising waterways, hazardous low-water crossings, and officials pleading with residents not to attempt driving through flooded roads under any circumstance. This is where it's worth pausing. This region has flooded catastrophically before the same rivers, the same terrain, the same pattern of slow-moving storms dumping rain onto ground that simply can't hold it. Texas Hill Country sits in what meteorologists sometimes call Flash Flood Alley. And the geography that makes it beautiful is the same geography that makes it lethal when the rain won't stop. As of the most recent updates, swift water rescue teams remain fully engaged across multiple counties simultaneously. temporary shelters opened to take in displaced residents while local authorities worked to coordinate evacuations, track river levels in real time, and begin assessing damage to homes, businesses, and infrastructure. And the forecast wasn't offering much relief. Meteorologists warned that additional heavy rainfall could trigger renewed flash flooding before the current floodwaters even had a chance to recede. With watersheds already fully saturated, every additional storm cell carried the risk of pushing rivers back up toward dangerous levels or higher. Boerne, Bandera, Uvalde, Medina, Kerr, Bexar, Guadalupe, Gillespie, Kendall 8 counties, one river system, and communities that are no strangers to what floodwater can take from them. If you want to understand why Texas Hill Country keeps ending up at the center of these disasters and what's being done to try to warn people faster next time, that's exactly what we're tracking as this story develops. Subscribe and turn on notifications, because we'll bring you the next update the moment it happens.